I'll address what yellow spectrum means at the end of the film. That's basically a copycat of Moist Meter. Since he doesn't really do those anymore, I'm here to take that role. Anyways, I just want to talk about the movie. No spoilers. You are safe. I'll talk about spoilers at the end of the film. I'm going to just give you guys my starter thoughts and what I thought about the film throughout. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So overall, I thought this film was okay. At first, I actually gave it a high rating on my Instagram, but looking back at what I probably missed, I realized this film was not good. I'll give you like a brief synopsis of this film. Like, now I'm not gonna give up anything. The whole movie is about a character named Chris Raven, played by Chris Pratt, who is a police detective who is convicted in trial, an AI monitored trial for the murder of his wife. And this AI conducted trial is fully just the AI herself, and her name is Maddox, played by Rebecca Ferguson. And this AI is everything: the judge, jury, and executioner. There are nobody involved in this trial except for the calls that he can make, like personal calls or calls to people that can get him evidence. But other than that, she's the only one that makes the calls, her alone, and that's it. Now, basically how this works, the trial works, is Chris, he gets access to a database of everything. Everything. I'm talking about like bank accounts, text message history, call history, freaking Snapchat my eyes only, every single like video, photo, everything. Instagram spam accounts. Every single thing. Nothing is private, which is kind of a complaint that I have that I will address later on. But yeah, so he has access to everything, in which he can ask the AI to, hey, like, can I see this photo, or can I see this video? Can I see this history, in order to be used as evidence to prove that he is not guilty. Now, if you guys know the whole premise of like how a legal trial works, it's all the whole like innocent until proven guilty, right? This one is guilty until proven innocent. And he has a countdown of 90 minutes to prove that he is not the murderer of his wife. Now that I've kind of given what you guys need to know about this film, I'm going to tell you what I think about each part. So, the plot, the pacing of it is so fast. Not a second goes by where I feel like I can get some breather. I am on edge throughout this whole film. My leg is constantly shaking. I got up to leave after the film and my leg was numb. It fits the whole thriller genre well, but even thrillers sometimes can have some breather. But this doesn't. Given with the countdown, the short runtime of this film, and everything just keeps going fast, there's no second to breathe. If there was, it was probably just the end credits. The plot, they do kind of give like they address some things, and they kind of build up to where it'll go back to it after, but it actually doesn't. There are some things that are addressed and are not talked about ever again. That I will talk about for the spoilers. In this film, if you guys have seen sorry, I'm very congested right now. If you have seen Unfriended or Searching or Missing or War of the Worlds, the director of this movie actually made that movie, War of the Worlds. It's this one setting film where you see everything unfold through a screen. Like the videos and like photos and whatnot. It's all in one place. So it's just where Chris Raven, he's stuck to this chair, right? And he just watches everything. We see in his perspective, that's just the whole movie. The whole HUD of what the AI gives access to, that's the whole like setting of this film. It's not a bad thing, I kind of like that, I guess. Or I don't like it, but for this film I see why they do it like that, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The acting I thought was pretty solid. Chris Pratt's acting was, he's kind of the same as any other Chris Pratt role, like if you've seen like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Jurassic films. But the acting is still good and it sells. Rebecca Ferguson as the AI did well. I felt like until there were some parts that made me question it. That I will talk about for spoilers. I think the visuals of this film, so it's not like too futuristic, but there's like a flying bike involved. There are these and there's that whole AI thing. it's all that, like, that kind of stuff is all futuristic to me. There's a futuristic vibe to it, but it's not like Blade Runner 2049. It's not like that, or it's not like Avatar. It's like still pretty modern with a few like future stuff involved. But more for the acting for Chris, they flesh out his character through the trial of these like videos and photos, like footage that we see of him, and it's used to like show why he is guilty. But in a way, they also are able to flesh out his development in a way, which is, I think, is pretty cool. And that's not like the best thing, but I like how they were able to integrate those two things together. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. There's another character, his daughter. I forgot his name. Forgot her name. But she doesn't really do anything in this film other than just to be like called by him for personal calls or being used for like evidence and whatnot. And it's like they don't develop her in any way. And I'm not mad about that. That's not a complaint. But I'm just saying, like, she doesn't really do much. So, but she does play a component for how this plot is able to progress to where it is leading to. And I thought that was pretty done. So there's a twist in the film. And it's involving, like, it doesn't involve her directly, but she is used to show that twist. And even though that twist may be predictable, it wasn't for me, actually. I couldn't figure out who was behind all of this. But I thought that piece was done pretty okay. I'm sorry, for visuals, I should have mentioned, because I kind of talked to you what it kind of looks like. I thought the CGI was done well for the AI, like, HUD. Like, I thought that part was cool. People said that they didn't like it, and then they said it looked so, like, goofy. I actually liked it. I think maybe the bike scenes were a bit questionable. It didn't bother me that much because I don't think the CGI was the main focus of the film. But it wasn't that, like, off-putting to me. Like, if you've seen, like, Ant-Man and Quantumania or Thor Love and Thunder, that's what I call wacky. That's what I call goofy. This one was, like, meh. Like, it's not, like, the craziest well-done CGI, but I thought it didn't bother me that much. I was like, oh, okay. Because, again, this film keeps you on edge. I couldn't really focus on what would have stood out have I had a bit more breather to really look around what's going on. But I thought the CGI was done okay. Some of the things that I don't like, I don't know if I said this earlier, but because of how fast this plot is, there are a lot of plot holes, I feel like. Some I forgot, like, I actually recorded this review video like 20 minutes ago, but then I realized there was another thing that I have to address that I will do for spoilers. But this one was just like, I realized this movie had so many plot holes until after I watched like some reviews on the movie, what other people thought. I was like, oh my gosh, I realized that was never answered. That was never addressed. But overall, this film is entertaining. It's okay. So given my overall review on the yellow spectrums, okay, so this is where I explain how this works. So basically, we have this yellow spectrum here of the yellow things that you've seen. There is piss yellow for horrible bad, lemon yellow for bad but not like crazy bad, maybe like a fun bad for that tier. Then we have cheesy for mid, and then we have bananas for a good movie, an enjoyable movie, and then we've got the yellow star of amazing, well done film. I will say for this rating of the yellow spectrum, this was a lemon. This wasn't like a crazy bad film, but I don't know if it's anywhere near mid considering how many plot holes there were. It was still enjoyable. I'll have a few sourness every now and then, but this movie was okay. Now that I've given my rating of the yellow spectrum, I will now dive into spoilers. So if you were only here for the non-spoilers, thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Now, spoilers. What I didn't like was how the AI has access to everything, right? The whole database. Your Snapchat, My Eyes Only, your bank accounts, your text message history, call history. You know, they know who your sneaky links are, your booty calls, all of that. What I didn't like is if you have access to all of that, why couldn't you look through everything yourself before conducting the mercy trial in the first place. It has access to everything and can instantly access to whatever you ask for instantly in a matter of seconds. And even when there are some things that it says it needs time to process, it gets done in like 3 minutes. So it's like, why couldn't you look through that before you convicted the wrong guy? So Chris Raven, he is proven not to be guilty because he was not at the house at the time of her murder. But when the police go over, this was something I missed the first time because it was just quickly addressed and then never talked about again. The police come to the house where his wife, Nicole, that's her name, when Nicole died, and they ask her, who did this? And she says, Chris. And that is never talked about ever again. So I thought maybe she was trying to say like, oh, like, so apparently the killer was actually Chris's sponsor for an alcoholic anonymous meeting that he's been going to because he was alcoholic and had an addiction ever since his partner died in the line of duty. But other than that, she just says Chris, and they never talk about it ever again. Why would they not address that? Maybe they, like, I don't know, like, I thought that was weird. Because I realized that was so important because I was like, oh my gosh, like, why would she say Chris? But then I completely forgot about that after the film. And then now I'm here thinking about it now. Why was she saying Chris? Did she say, like, oh, it's Chris's friend, Rob Nelson? Because that was apparently him. That was actually, the killer. I thought maybe she was trying to say that. But I don't know. Maybe they just did it just to catch you off guard. But that I thought, thinking back, now I think that is weird. Another plot hole I would like to address is as it has access, the AI has access to everything, right? So, not only we get the twist that it was his friend who killed the wife, but his friend, the reason why he was doing all of this was to get revenge on Chris convicting the wrong man in the first mercy trial, who apparently happened to be his brother, and how his brother was wrongfully executed was that he was supposed to have a phone to have access to call his brother to prove his innocence. But Chris's partner, Jack Diallo, got rid of the convicted guy's phone, the convicted brother's phone, and had him get executed. He was never able to call Rob, and Rob was furious and angry and set up 2 years for this plan to work. So it shows that Jack was involved in how the mercy trials was a false thing. It was bad. It was flawed. She gets arrested, and then it leads to this like lesson theme of the film. AI makes mistakes. Humans make mistakes, and that's okay. What a stupid theme. Lesson for how this movie progressed. So many people died. So many SWAT team members were killed by the bomb that Rob conducted at his house as a decoy for him to get away, to kidnap his daughter, to keep hostage, to get Chris out. So many people died, and now it's just like, AI makes mistakes. Human makes mistakes. Which another thing that brings me to think about, the AI kind of has its own self-consciousness. Doesn't really explore how that even happened. She glitches out, and then she suddenly has like a gut instinct to help Chris more than just giving him information. She actively tries to help him be proven innocent. And then she actively helps him to prevent Rob being killed, to then having the daughter who he's held hostage get killed with him too. So much has happened. So much has just, like, so many things have started and were never finished properly. That was the complaint on why this movie was just too short and too fast at the same time to address all of this and then not go back to it ever again. Another plot hole that I also missed apparently was Rob's plan only happened well because of luck. He wouldn't have known that Chris was going to leave and then come back, to kind of prove like him being a suspect, when he found out that his wife found out his alcohol like stash that he was hiding, which broke his sobriety. He actually relapsed, and then she leaves, and then she is able to get killed by Rob. So him coming back, he never would have guessed. So I thought that was weird. Maybe he foresee it ahead of time, like, oh, his wife found out, so maybe now he's gonna come back, maybe. So that was something I missed out the first time. It was just like Minority Report copycat of it, but done 10 times worse than the film. Yeah, so this film was not good at all. This was just yucky. It wasn't like horrible. I enjoyed it. I was entertained, but not good. Too many questions I have yet to be answered and will never be answered ever again. I hope this movie doesn't get a sequel. This movie was not good. That is all I got for spoilers. That is all I got for this whole video. If you guys like this movie review, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. The next one, I believe, will be Send Help. I've already watched that. I will make a video on that. It stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. It is a horror comedy film. I will make that video. See you in the next one. Peace.